an often really overlooked character trait that can say a lot about another person, and it's something that can be very useful to look for in a potential partner or on the dating scene, is the ability for a person to just sit quietly and be present in the moment. It's a very rare character trait, particularly today in the age of constant overstimulation and external distraction bombarding our lives. But it's in a very attractive trait because it shows a lot about that other person. If someone can sit quietly and just be present in the moment, what it shows to you is that this is someone who they can keep themselves occupied. They don't always have to check the phone, check the computer, watch TV, start a conversation, fill the beauty of the silence of the present moment with noise and energy and blah, blah, blah. There's no need for any of that. This is someone who can just embrace the beauty of this particular moment of time, truly enjoy it, and it shows that they're comfortable with themselves. They can sit quietly by themselves. They have no issue being alone. And if they have no issue doing that, that extends to their time with you. One of the biggest problems with relationships is that a lot of people fall into these traps of like, well, it got boring, or I just wasn't feeling an emotional connection after time. Oh, we just grew apart. Or I just, we dated for 2 years and it just kind of fell apart. I think we were just, and a lot of the times the reason that happens is because you think you've gotten to know everything about that person. You think that there's nothing new to be discovered about them. You know everything there is to know. So there's nothing novel or exciting about embracing that person's soul. But what that really implies is that you've stopped growing with that person. And a big reason as to why you may have stopped growing with that person is that you stopped embracing them and asking those deeper questions, really getting to know them. And the only way you can really get to know them deeper like that is if you're actually present with them. You have to ask those questions. You have to spend that quiet time alone with them to then learn that additional information about them. And then learning of that about them makes you feel closer and more connected. But, and this isn't just a problem of today's age. I'm sure this has been going on for pretty much all of human history. But the point is that so many people need constant distraction. They need constant stimulation to keep themselves occupied or entertained. And this is certainly something that I look for in a partner. It is so insanely attractive when I meet a woman who is okay being by herself. She's okay with just being present. She doesn't need to check her phone a million times an hour. She can just be here. Because if she can be here for herself, it means she can be here for me. And if she can do that, then I can confide in her. And I can really get to know her. And she can extend the same courtesy to me. And if that happens, then we can build anything. We can build anything. And people a lot of times fall into this trap of thinking that you go on a date or you meet someone and they're just the one. Like, the one doesn't exist. It's a stupid concept to trick people into thinking that they don't need to do work. It tricks people into thinking that if something isn't just magical sparks right off the bat, that, it wasn't meant to be. And if it is meant to be, you should just be able to walk right into it. It's going to be amazing from the start. And that's not how it works at all. Not even close. You have to build. And to build, it takes two people to build. You both have to be willing to show up, do the work, learn about each other, and really, really embrace one another with the idea of growing together. It has to. There's no other way it can work that way. And that's a big issue is how can you build something amazing if both people aren't showing up to grow and build the foundation together? And a big impediment to people showing up is not being present. And they're not present because they have an inability to do so. I guess the lesson to take from this is check yourself and think about your ability to experience what's going on around you. Do you need constant stimulation? Do you constantly get distracted by your phone? Do you feel the need to just make noise or talk? Or can you just be?